Hi everyone, I hope you're good, having a nice day. Today I'm gonna read a few AITA posts. Hope you're sitting comfortably. Or you are doing chores now and I'm helping you. That's great. Anyway, let's go. AITA 4. Telling a guy to stop sticking his feet under my seat on airplane. I was flying home from Thanksgiving and I fell asleep before takeoff, but was woken up less than a half hour later by the guy behind me's feet. He stuck them under the chair and they were poking my feet/legs. I tapped his feet with mine to kinda non-verbally signal he was in my space, and he took them away. I thought it was over, but 15 minutes later he was at it again. I tapped them again and he moved. Like 5 minutes later, he did it again. I tried to turn around and ask him to stop, but I'm very short, and I couldn't do that without taking seatbelt off. And the light was on, so I tapped, but he didn't move, so then I used my foot to push his back. Not hard or anything, just forcing him to get out my space. He just kept putting them back every time immediately. I was getting so mad when the seatbelt light turned off, and I immediately unbuckled and turned around and said, "Can you stop putting your feet under my seat into my space?" As expected, I wasn't so thrilled at this point. So I was stern, but I didn't raise my voice or anything. He had a kid who looked 3 or 4 next to him. He got pissy with me and said, "You gonna speak to me like that in front of my son?" I replied, "I don't really care about any of that. You just need to respect my personal space." Then I sat back down before he could say anything. All was fine until we were getting off after landing, where he called me a stupid bee. My roommate told me you should never confront people in front of their children, but I think my right to personal space outweighs his right to look good in front of his son. Plus I tried to communicate non-verbally. Oof, social interactions, am I right? But nah, I think this person is not the a-hole. I never heard about not confronting a person in front of their kid. Why? If parent is doing something wrong, why not teach the children and give examples to them? Let's see what the comments say. Moon Doogie is saying, not the a-hole. The never confront people in front of their children thing? Actually, that's not a thing. He was rude, deserved to be confronted. Yeah, I agree. Elizabeth is saying, not the a-hole. You didn't confront him. You politely but sternly made a reasonable request. What else could you do at this point? Keep playing footsie with a stranger's gross feet? Also, unless he somehow wasn't right next to his kid during the crowded off-boarding process, I think his child is more likely to remember his dad calling someone a bee versus a stranger asking his dad not to kick them. Alarmed hamster. Not the a-hole. If he was freaking torching you, that's a no-no big time. And who cares if his kid was there? If he's being an a-hole, he deserves to be called on it. Kid or no. Green-eyed kitty cat. Not the a-hole. You didn't swear in front of the child. You had every right to stand up for yourself. He was the a-hole for cursing at you later. Yeah, so the people in the comments say, clearly, not the a-hole in this situation. Let's go to another story. Am I the a-hole for lying to the girl I've been seeing that she was my first choice? I like 2 girls who are part of the same friend group. I was in love with one in particular and asked her out a month ago and got shut down. I was feeling kind of poopy, but I knew, or at least thought, she would not tell anyone I asked her out of respect. We are in our early 20s. So the girl I've been seeing, I asked her out a few days later, cause I had been talking to her a bit more and think she's pretty. I won't lie, I liked the other girl much more and was bummed she rejected me, and I wanted to feel better about myself. So we have been seeing each other for a few weeks. Last night I had gotten a call from her upset. She said how could I ask her friend out, get rejected and ask her out. She said she's embarrassed that she looks like my second choice, and if I even actually like her. I told her that she wasn't my second choice. She was actually my first, but I thought I had no shot with her. Not sure if she believes it fully, but it calmed her down. In my opinion, it doesn't matter now. She shouldn't be acting so insecure. A female friend of mine says I'm in the wrong. Am I? Whew, I don't know. But I think you are, because you lied to her. I know, fresh relationship and this and that, but you don't want to start with a lie. You could tell her she's your second choice, but you didn't, and that makes you kinda a-hole. Let's see what the comments are saying. Horror Nerd 3000. You're the a-hole. You basically picked her for an ego boost because the girl you liked more said no. If that girl were to ask you out next week, your current girlfriend has no proof you wouldn't go running in a heartbeat to her. You also embarrassed her. She had to hear it from someone else. Your new lie is going to cause issues as well, because your girlfriend is definitely gonna say, well, he only asked you out because he didn't think he had a shot with me, which is going to lead to that girl being offended. Stop digging yourself deeper into a web of lies. Plastic Ride 1636. So do you actually like the girl you're dating right now or not? Because from what you said, it seems like you just used her as a rebound since you like the other girl much more. On top of this, you're lying to her and telling her that she isn't a second choice when you know damn well she is. You're the asshole. Blue Clouds is saying, not the a-hole. So what if she is second choice? Second place is fine. Would you complain about getting second in the Olympics instead of gold? Lulu Lucy is saying, you're the a-hole. You used her to feel better about yourself, then lied to her about it. Even if you wanted a relationship with her, starting with a lie is a terrible idea. Let's go to another story. Am I the a-hole for wanting little notes and gifts for myself? Okay, I am big on leaving notes and little gifts for my boyfriend to let him know that I appreciate him. I do it because I want to. It makes me happy. The problem is that I am big on not expecting thanks or reciprocation for something that they didn't ask you to do. But I have recently found myself kinda sad that I don't really ever get even a little note back. Don't expect a gift, but a note would be nice. So I feel like an a-hole cause I want to say, hey, could you leave me a note? And in the same moment, I think that is unfair. And this person is definitely there for me emotionally and for big stuff. Just curious, if I was the a-hole for wanting more. Nah, I don't think you are. If you really like to get a note or something, you could casually talk with your partner about it. You could ask what he thinks about it. Just don't stress. Let's see what the comments say. Jesus is saying, no asshole here. You need to tell him. He has no idea that you feel this way. But remember that you said, I do it because I want to. It makes me happy. So if he says the notes you leave him don't make him that much happier, which I doubt he will say, or that it would be too much work or even stressful for him, he won't be the a-hole either. Pilot Environmental is saying, not the a-hole. Skip the subtlety and tell your boyfriend what you need. I am the one who does this with my wife. I've accepted she loves me, but this just isn't her style. Periodically, I remind her I have emotional needs as well, and when I do, she steps up. But she's never going to do it spontaneously, and that's okay, she has other great traits. I'm guessing so does your boyfriend. Once Pretty Bonnet is saying, you're the a-hole if you think it is unfair that your notes aren't reciprocated and don't say anything about it. Nothing wrong with saying it would mean the world to me if you send me a note, but don't be shocked if it isn't regularly reciprocated. People have their own ways of expressing thanks and love. The 5 Love Languages is a good book to read. It talks about how we each have our own ways that we like to express love and have love expressed back. I am a gift giver too, and a writer of notes. It took me years to understand that when my husband cleaned the whole house, it was his way of saying, I love you this much. Yeah, interesting. Let's see another story. Am I the a-hole for yelling at my partner for waking me up? My baby daddy and I have been on again, off again for over 5 years. We have different domestic styles and it caused significant trouble, so we don't live together. A year ago we rekindled our relationship and he's been staying over a lot more again. We both have different sleeping styles and it can be difficult to get restful sleep in the same house. I use a fan, he hates fans. He has the habit of getting out of bed at 2 a.m. and starting his day whenever he can't sleep. Whereas, that's often when I'm just starting to fall asleep. When he gets out of bed in the middle of the night, he will flip on my light in my room where I'm sleeping with my daughter, loudly find his clothes and keys and wallet, opening and closing the closet, or getting in the shower, like next to my bed. If I say, please, turn that light off, he will snarl a blue streak out of me about whatever fault of mine it is to cause him not to sleep. Your dogs keep me up, despite his own dog being involved in the rough housing. And he will never cease that he is doing to prevent my sleep. In fact, he'll say, you might as well get up, or call me lazy, or worse. When our daughter was a breastfeeding infant, I would often be up every 3 to 4 hours to feed her and beg for extra time to sleep in the morning, which infuriated my partner. He would simply place our child outside my bedroom door and leave the house, and if I had earplugs in to sleep, she would be alone until I figured it out. Traumatizing. The worst was when he strapped her into a rocker in her room and left because I asked for more rest. I woke to find her screaming and crawling at her restraints. Alone. Horrible. Last night it was the same situation, only closer to wake-up time, around 5 a.m. I'd taken sleeping meds to fall asleep, and it was appealing when suddenly the lights were blazing and he burst into my room to loudly seek his belongings. I protested by telling him half-sleepingly, half-angrily to get out, tiptoe, turn the light off, but instead he turned the roof up to 11. He told me I might as well wake up. I slammed the door shut behind him. It has to be closed firmly to keep the dogs from reopening it. I got my 30 minutes sleep in and went downstairs to find him cussing me out. He called me every name in the book and swung as if he'd like to hit me. I told him to leave, and he laughed and said it was practically his house. He is entangled with my family, to whom I pay rent with, which complicates everything. Anyway, I left for work in tears, and I've been stewing since. I know it's not right to yell at somebody, but it's really hard to control that impulse when they wake you up in the middle of the night and seemingly have no respect for you or your rest. He says I am the asshole, but I am inclined to think he's the a-hole, as he often can be. Am I the a-hole? Oh my god. I think not. I think you're not the a-hole. And I'm very sorry you've been through this. But this is a toxic relationship. And please seek help. Let's see what the comments say. Jenny Tyler is saying, not the a-hole. Leave this toxic relationship. Please. His treatment of you and the baby is abusive. Don't let your child be raised with this as their first knowledge of how a relationship should be. Please, find a good therapist to help you through this too. Another commenter is saying, honestly, everybody asks here him for very, very obvious reasons that I am heartbroken you fail to see. You for allowing an abuser into your life and into your daughter's life over and over again. He restrained your baby. It would have been your duty as a mom to protect her and yourself. I would have called the police on his ass and changed the locks right then and there. Please find the strength in yourself to leave him. Impressive Grapefruit is saying, not the a-hole. This is an abusive relationship, and this man has put your child in danger. I don't have words for leaving a baby screaming and alone. Make a plan and leave before he actually hits you. Your daughter shouldn't be around this. Adante is saying, not the a-hole. This relationship needs to be off again, permanently. This guy sounds like an inconsiderate prick. It would be an easy fix for him to set his clothes, wallet, stuff outside the bedroom, so that if one wakes, he can just sneak out and let you sleep. It sounds more like he takes joy in being a dick and walking you up. Get him out of your life. You don't want your kid to see him treating you like this and thinking that was normal. Okay, thank you everybody for listening. I really appreciate you and wish you have a great rest of the day. Goodbye.